Ferrari just handed Lewis Hamilton the keys, not just to a car, but to the future of their entire F1 operation. They're not waiting for mid-season. They're not easing him in. After just 3 races, with no podiums on Sunday and a brutal 76-point gap to McLaren, Ferrari's thrown out the playbook and made a bold call. They're betting it all on Hamilton. And what he does in Bahrain could either kickstart a comeback or expose how deep Ferrari's problems really go. But this isn't a ceremonial test. Hamilton's not just logging laps, he's evaluating their most aggressive upgrade package yet, and if it works, he becomes the central figure in Ferrari's recovery. The real story? This move doesn't just speak to trust. It hints at a growing power shift inside the team, one that could define the rest of the season. So why now? Why Hamilton? And what does this bold move mean for Ferrari's direction, both on the track and behind closed doors? Let's be honest, this isn't where Ferrari thought they'd be in 2025. 3 races in, and they're already being outclassed by McLaren in almost every department. They've been fast in flashes. Hamilton even grabbed a sprint race win in China. But that hasn't translated into consistent Grand Prix results. Leclerc's finishes have been decent, but not dominant. Hamilton has struggled with setup issues. And together, they've yet to deliver the kind of unified punch Ferrari hoped for when they brought Lewis over. Meanwhile, McLaren keeps pulling away, both in raw points and team confidence. It's the kind of early season hole that teams usually try to manage with cautious upgrades, patient adjustments, and optimistic media statements. But Ferrari, they've chosen the opposite. Instead of playing it safe, they're rolling out a full suite of technical upgrades and letting Hamilton take the lead. It's a move that screams urgency. And depending on how it goes, it might be seen as genius or pure desperation. You don't normally learn much from a free practice 1 session. It's early in the weekend, the track's still evolving, and most teams just use it for data collection and setup exploration. But this FP1 in Bahrain is different, because Ferrari isn't just testing a single new part. They're bringing a floor redesign, a new cooling system, a reworked diffuser, and multiple rear wing options. And who's in the car for all of it? Lewis Hamilton. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc is being rotated out of the session entirely, replaced by Ferrari Junior Dino Beganovic. That means Hamilton gets full focus during the most critical test session of the season so far. This isn't symbolic. This is Ferrari saying, Lewis, tell us if this works, or if we're wasting our time. If the car feels more stable, more responsive, or faster in high-speed corners, the upgrade stays. If it doesn't, the entire direction of development could shift again. And make no mistake, what Hamilton says after this session will shape Ferrari's strategy for months. There's a reason Ferrari is putting this much weight behind Hamilton's voice, because it's not just about what he says, it's about how he sees. When he drove a compromised car in China and still found a way to win the sprint, it wasn't because the setup suddenly worked, it was because Hamilton instinctively understands how to maximize what's available, even when it's flawed. And in a team searching for clarity, that matters a lot. Ferrari's engineers are listening closely, because when Hamilton gives feedback, it comes from 17 years of driving everything from midfield junk to title-dominating monsters. That's why Mercedes trusted him to lead car development for nearly a decade. That's why Ferrari gave him the green light to lead testing in Bahrain. He's not just there to drive, he's there to diagnose, to translate issues into action. And if this update moves the needle, it won't just validate the upgrade, it'll validate the man behind the wheel. Here's where things get messy, because while Hamilton is stepping into a leadership role, Leclerc isn't exactly tagging along. Reports out of Italy suggest Leclerc's been pushing back behind the scenes, wanting to develop the car in a direction that suits his driving style. That means different setups, different data interpretations, different feedback priorities. And that's a problem. Because while Ferrari hoped Hamilton's arrival would unify the team, what's emerging is a quiet split. 2 approaches, 2 voices, 1 car. And if that doesn't get resolved soon, Ferrari could be heading toward an internal civil war. F1 history has shown this time and time again. When 2 drivers pull a team in different directions, performance suffers. It's not about ego, it's about focus, and Ferrari right now is struggling to keep both. While Ferrari tries to find itself, McLaren has already found top gear. Lando Norris is leading the drivers' standings. Oscar Piastri is right behind. And the team already has 2 race wins, including a dominant 1-2 finish in China. But the real story? The whispers about that rear wing. After the Suzuka Grand Prix, fans and insiders began circulating footage showing McLaren's rear wing flexing under load, something the regulations are designed to prevent. Then came the tweet from Jos Verstappen. He's not a meme guy. When he posts something like that, it's a signal. Red Bull clearly thinks something is going on, and they're not being subtle about it. Even Pierre Wash, Red Bull's technical director, hinted that McLaren's doing mini DRS stuff. The FIA, they've already reacted, quietly adjusting the rear wing flex limit twice in just 2 races. What does that tell you? That it's not speculation anymore? It's real. And McLaren's potentially riding a fine line between innovation and infringement. Ferrari knows this. They know the clock is ticking, and if they don't respond fast, McLaren could run away with the season, legal or not. After Suzuka, Hamilton didn't rant. He didn't complain. He just dropped a line that sent waves through the paddock. There's been a bit of a deficit between both sides of the garage. He was pressed for details. He refused to expand. That silence, it was intentional. This wasn't a rookie hinting at confusion. This was a veteran making a quiet, strategic statement. He knows what he feels. He knows what the data says. And more importantly, he knows how to apply pressure without causing chaos. That one comment said everything Ferrari needed to hear. There's something wrong. And if they want to fix it, they need to start listening closely. Bahrain might not decide a championship, but it might decide Ferrari's direction. Because if Hamilton's feedback on the new upgrade is positive and the pace is there, he'll instantly become the voice Ferrari follows. Not because he's new, not because he's famous, but because he'll have proven he can lead. That changes everything, from development priority to team structure. Leclerc's approach might still be valid, but in F1, results speak louder than resumes, and right now Ferrari's desperate for answers. If Hamilton gives them one this weekend, don't be surprised if he becomes the cornerstone of every major decision going forward. Ferrari's always been a team built around identity. For years they backed Leclerc as the chosen one, the hometown hero, the long-term project. Then Hamilton arrived, a proven champion, a disruptor. Now the dynamic is shifting. One side of the garage is led by risk-taking, bold experimentation. The other by consistency and a desire for control. So who's really driving the future of Ferrari? Is it the seasoned veteran with a legacy to protect? Or the young ace trying to write his own? If Bahrain's test goes well, that question may finally have an answer. And if it doesn't, the internal power struggle might just get a whole lot louder. Ferrari is at a breaking point. They can't afford to sit back and hope things click. McLaren and Red Bull are pulling away. The title fight is already slipping from reach. So they made a choice. They put their trust in Hamilton. Not just to drive, but to decide. To set the tone. To evaluate. To lead. And in doing so, they've sent a message to the world. We still believe in this project, but we're changing the way we do it. Now it's up to Lewis. If the Bahrain upgrades hit, Ferrari's story changes instantly. If they don't, well, then the questions get even bigger. So here's the real one. Has Ferrari finally found the man to guide their comeback? Or it just handed control to someone too late to save them? Now drop your thoughts in the comments. Should Ferrari follow Hamilton's lead, or has Leclerc earned the right to steer this ship? If you're obsessed with the real F1 stories, the ones happening behind closed doors, make sure to like, subscribe and stick around, because this season, Ferrari's biggest race might not be on track. It might be in the garage.